Okay, so first play in your sales playbook. Welcome back for another edition of Josh Hazelwood Sales 101. Just kidding. Day day one, day two, day three, first day. I can't remember what day it is, but either way, play one in your auto quote sales book is quoting an aged lead. What's an aged lead, you might ask? Well, aged lead is one that I bought a long time ago, whether it be auto lead 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 3 years ago. What they are is people who signed up for a quote. We purchased a quote through a lead provider. For one reason or another, we wasn't able to get up with them. We wasn't able to write their business. That doesn't mean that we didn't try. Well, sometimes we wouldn't. Somebody might have just clicked it and act like they called them, but you never know. It just depends on whose butt was in the chair at the time. But we either emailed them a quote, we talked to them on the phone. There might be notes in the CRM about it, but we wasn't able to win their business. And those people, their phone's not ringing. It's one of my favorite ones. I know of some other agents who built their sales processes on nothing but aged leads. One of my best friends, Mr. Isaac Grizel, his agency was built like this, and he learned from another agent and whose agency was built like this. And they're already purchased, so why not work them? We've already spent the money on them. And if we actually get the opportunity to quote them and we're good on the front end and we can help them, then you get the best return on your investment right there. But yeah, they're a lot of fun, and they may or may not remember you. It all depends on who you talk to. So age lead. Another thing is their phone ain't blowing up. Like if they're on the internet and they playing, I learned this I think last week from one of you guys, said you're playing a video game, and in order to get more credits or something, you click on an ad on Facebook and you get more credits, but you get put in a database to be hounded by a bunch of insurance agents like us trying to write them business. And that's a typical internet lead. Well, they may have done this 6 months ago, year ago, whatever, and we spoke with them, but their phone's not blowing up anymore because it's been 6 months to a year ago, because nobody else is following up with these customers. And so they're free, fair game, and they're free for the taking, and they're more likely to answer the phone. So if we're working to work towards interrupting their day and disturbing their world, providing a solution and showing them how to fix everything and how easy it is to switch to Josh Hazelwood State Farm. So without further ado, I'll get right into the script, what it should sound like, and where to go from there after I silence my cell phone. All right, auto quote, age lead. I'm going to read it from the script first time, from the top to the bottom, just so you can get a feel for it. And then we're going to go back over it and dissect it. So, hey, I'm going to pretend someone's name too. So, hey, John, this is Josh calling from Josh Hazelwood State Farm. Hey, I know you're busy, so I won't take a lot of your time. The reason for my call is we quoted your auto insurance in the past, and for one reason or another, we didn't earn your business. Tell me, who'd you end up choosing? Is that right? I just signed up a new customer from Geico. His rates has gone up a lot, and we saved him over $1,000 a year. I only need a little info from you, a little bit, for a free look. And if anything, we'll make sure you're getting a good deal. What are you driving now? See, I butchered that a few times, but the more and more you do it, the better you're going to be. So, one more time, let's rewind it again and get a little bit better this time. So, hey John, this is Josh Hazelwood calling from Josh Hazelwood State Farm. I know you're busy, so I won't take a lot of your time. The reason for my call is we quoted your auto insurance in the past, and for one reason or another, we didn't earn your business. Tell me, who'd you end up choosing? Nationwide, is that right? I just signed up a new customer from Nationwide. His rates have gone up a lot, and we saved him over $1,000 a year. I only need a little bit of info from you for a free look, and if anything, we'll make sure you're getting a good deal. What are you driving right now? Roll right into what are you driving right now. Once you figure out what they're driving, ask them any other vehicles that you have. Then you get to, now let me verify a little bit of information with you, and just the basic stuff: name, address, date of birth, driver's license if possible, if they got it handy. If they're driving, please don't have them digging for it. Then proceed to reviewing their coverages, their liability, uninsured motorist, property damage, comprehensive collision, emergency roadside service, S coverage, rental reimbursement, the coverages that are available in a State Farm auto insurance package, and whether or not they're bundling home and auto. Here's a big thing: find out what they're charging them. Find out what they're charging them. Know what we're competing against. At the end of the day, I don't really care, but it's a good groundwork because when we present, we need to know, see if we got a leg to stand on. Because if they're really only paying $75 a month and we come back at $200 just for the auto, are we really going to waste our time calling them back? Probably not. If they're truthful, they may not have been truthful. So I've heard that before several times. So I usually try to at least make the initial call back. But find out what their home, whether they're bundling, their auto, and then roll into the value statement. And the value statement should sound something like this. After you've collected the information, the value statement should sound like this. Now, we're a little different from the other guys. We help customers manage everyday risk. Customers will ask, well, what's that mean? You give the client relationship story, the $700,000 story at this point. Mr. Customer, if you were involved in an accident and you hit somebody driving a Tesla, you got to assume that guy that drives that Tesla is very successful and he provides a good living for his family. If he's unable to work and he's hurt and has a buttload of medical bills and the Tesla's damaged and they sue you for $700,000, how much of that do you want your insurance company to pay for you? They're going to probably say something like, well, all of it, ain't that what that's for? Absolutely, that's what insurance is for. Many of our customers realize that they don't have enough insurance to be able to write that check, for State Farm to write that check. And at the end of the day, that's what insurance is all about. I don't like insurance. I hate selling insurance, but you know what I like to do? I like to write checks. And I like for my customers to know exactly how much they got to pay out of pocket in a loss. Quick story, I had a customer call me not too long ago. He had been on vacation and he was out North Carolina, I believe, one of those vacation places in North Carolina on the beach. I don't know. I've never been to the East Coast, but he called me and he said, Josh, he said, I just hit a guy. What do I do? I just got served with papers from when I hit that guy when I was on vacation over in North Carolina. What do I do? I pulled up his information on the computer and I went in there and I said, Mr. Prospect or Mr. Customer, I don't know what a prospect at that time, he's a current customer. Mr. Customer, go to bed. Go back home and go to bed. He said, what do you mean? I said, you told me that nobody was hurt in the accident when you called me back a year ago. This was 364 days later, on the day before the statute of limitation ran out in North Carolina. I said, you told me a year ago nobody's hurt, everybody walked away from the accident, the damage wasn't that bad. I told you don't worry about it. Well, I'm telling you don't worry about it now. You made a decision to purchase a $1 million liability umbrella and saying that if an accident was your fault, State Farm will write a big old fat check for what you're sued for and pay for your legal defense fees. So I say that again, if you're injured in an accident and you're sued for $700,000, how much do you want your company to pay for you? Everybody's going to say all of it. I'm going to make that happen. That's one of my promises to you, is I'm going to show you how we can do that. And then I'm also going to show you what you have right now. And then you're going to have a decision to make, Mr. Prospect. You may be able to save a little bit of money on the front end and stick with the coverages that you have right now, albeit crappy. You may say that, you may not. But you also could go with the Hazelwood Protection Plan, and Hazelwood Protection Plan will write that check just like my customer that went to North Carolina on vacation. So you get the difficult decision that you can talk about with your wife, because I don't want to hear that, because you're the breadwinner, Mr. Customer or Miss Customer. You told me what you do for a living. You are who you are. You can make the ultimate decision to have better protection. And at the end of the day, we all sit down to a basket full of consequences, and the consequences of taking the crappier coverage could end up money out of your pocket. Tennessee can garnish your wages up 25%, I believe, for 10 years. You sleep better at night knowing that it's there. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Simple. So, Mr. Customer, Mr. Prospect, you're going to have a difficult decision to make. But at the end of the day, I know I did my job and I presented you with options, and then you get to tell me what's important to you and your family. So after you gave that value statement, that little bit of the story, you're going to ask an obligating question. You're going to say, now, Mr. Customer, if that happened to you, how much of that would you want me to pay? Exactly. We'll make sure we do. Finish that up, wrap it up in a bow. Now, when I call you back, everything sounds good. When will you want to start? Simple. You're asking for the sale. time, date, and whatever. It's really easy to switch. We do 99% of the work, and you won't even have to be on but one phone call in order to cancel, to let your mortgage company know that you're switching companies. If you're a homeowner, you may not even have to do that, except we do have to call and cancel your old insurance. But it's really easy to switch. We do 99% of the work. I appreciate your time. You told me to call you at 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'll call you at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So that's it. That's an auto quote, Age Lead. That's play one. It's not hard. It just takes you doing activities that lead to success. The key activities are, again, calls, outbound dials, quotes provided, and ask. You got to be doing all three of them. This is part of that whole process. A lot of people will ask me, how do you make it so simple? Why don't you get into a longer conversation on the front end? That's not the goal here. You got an hour to prospect these people, to set the expectation. You don't want to waste 30 minutes on a phone call when it should have only taken you 10 on the initial call. The presentation call, when you call him back to present his options and packages, that's going to take a little bit longer, and that's going to be a little bit more in detail because you're going to review everything and explain to him each and every coverage that he's signing up for and what he's paying for. But this call, the idea is to get volume in, because we know it's a numbers game. The more people that we quote, the more opportunities we're going to have to convert them to customers. Typical closing ratio in an hour, closing ratio and then prospecting time blocks. In an hour, I could probably get in 30, 35 calls. If I'm leaving voicemails. If I'm not leaving voicemails, I could probably get in 50 calls in an hour. To be successful in this business, you got to quote and present at least 5 times a day, every day, minimum of 3, but at least 5, 3 good conversations. We're going to look at talk time too. That's another key activity. Since you've talked with a customer and you've presented for more than 2 to 3 hours a day, you're going to be super successful. But that prospecting, you're going to do that several times a day, and you're going to fill your pipeline up by doing that. So again, this is just to get volume. This is just to get enough quotes and to practice on. And these people are easy to practice on because they're going to answer the phone. You'll end up liking these the best out of everything that we do as far as lead wise, other than the ones that I paid for, like call-ins and referrals that was built on the back of someone else's sweat and blood and tears. That you get the opportunity to close in the near future when I feel you're comfortable to do it. Right now, you're new, you're learning the playbook, you're learning what to say, where to go, how to disturb the world, how to present a solution, and then ask for the sale. You're learning the parts of the sale. So you won't get those layups until you earn them. You got to earn your stripes, or badges, or Eagle Scout, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so that's an Age Lead. That's the quote, the workflow. The CRM can help you track that. We'll go over that in detail, but this is the word track you need to be able to get down. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to, one more thing, make it your own. You may not have the pitches and tonalities that I use as a good, Southern boy from Mississippi, because I'm going to be a little bit more demonstrative than what you do. But if you're kinder and you're soft-spoken, then use that, to get in their kitchen. Use that and leverage your strengths and your weaknesses. Don't try to be or duplicate mine. But I do know that if you smile and you're energetic and you're enthusiastic as heck, those 3 principles: sharp as a tack, an expert in your field, and enthusiastic as heck, those are the principles, to success on these outbound dials. So use all those couple tips. I look forward to our continued success at Josh Hazelwood State Farm, and thank you for your time.